Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the Dr. Dreadful Food Lab. This was released by TYCO in 1994. Turn the box around. I'm really excited to finally be able to do this thing. I've been looking for this particular set for quite some time. I had this when I was a kid. As you can see, the box is in pretty bad condition, but it was new. Everything in it was still sealed up. So I'm really happy. I'm going to get all the parts and everything out of the box and we'll go over them and then get to assembly. Alright, got all the parts. Man, a whole bunch of them. Let's see. Here's the stickers. We have a repulsive recipe guide. Here's our instructions. Got these two little dishes. These are for the monster skin. Have our bowl, measuring spoon, plunger cleaner, little bone arm. This is for like stirring like the monster brains. Look at this. Isn't that cool? And here we have our various molds here. We've got 5 in total, and I'll show each one of them in detail. And this is our platform where we're going to be doing most of the work. So I'll go ahead and get it assembled. Okay. I'll go on like that. All right, let me get this other side. Let me make a little bit of room here. Oh, I forgot to show, there's my powders. Hopefully they're all still good. With the Drink Lab set I did, I had some problems with the powder, but okay. Skull goes on top here. Your molds go here. Alright. Now we have these pillars. Got to put them on. I'm going to take a quick look at the directions again. It's been a while since I've played around with this set, so I want to make sure I get everything right. Okay. Shows the pillars A, B, and C into the center of the unit by matching each lettered pillar with the letter on the center unit. Okay. Let's find A. Let's see here. This is B. And this is D. A. And C. And then we have these little wedge pieces. These will slide in. That's to keep the pillars from coming off. Okay. Now we have our plunger cup. This is going to go in here. The lever is going to go in like this. And then another mold will go right there. These go right here. So that's basic assembly. I'm going to go over everything one more time to make sure I got everything right, and then we'll get on to our first experiment. Alright, I'm going to start with the Monster Brains experiment. It calls for some hot water, and there's a line on here. I don't know if you can see it, but I got to fill it up to that line. Okay, our hot water. Then we're going to put 3½ teaspoons of Part 1 Monster Brains. As expected, one of the powders is rock solid. It looks like brown sugar, and that's to be expected. I had the same problem with the Drink Lab. But the Part 1 is in real good condition. Smells real good. Okay, 3½ teaspoons. 1. Make sure you level them out. 2. 3. And 4. Wait, 3½, I'm sorry. I put the first 3 teaspoons and then 1.5 teaspoons. Alright. I put this in a plate just in case it gets kind of messy. Take a look in there. It's getting real gooey. Trying to make sure I get it all off. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Okay, moving on to the next step. 1½ teaspoons of Part 2 Monster Brains. Like I said, this stuff was, I tried to break it up as best I could. That's what it looks like. Not supposed to be like that. Okay, that's 1. And the half. Okay, we're going to mix this up good, and it's supposed to bubble. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Well, it's having a slight reaction. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Well, it's definitely working a little bit. It's not just oozing all over the place, but it is working. So, despite the Part 2 being all messed up and everything, we are getting a reaction. It is foaming, you know, and oozing just a little bit, but nothing crazy is going on. All right. Let me get some of my utensils cleaned up and we'll move on to the next experiment. Okay, we're on to the second experiment. This one is my favorite. It's the monster skin. Okay, get the powder. I'm going to mix 3 teaspoons of room temperature water into the bowl with ½ teaspoon of Part 1 Monster Skin syrup. Okay. these powders feel just fine, so. Three teaspoons of water. One, two, and three. Let me wipe off my spoon here. And it calls for half a teaspoon. Oh, this smells good. All right. Get this stirred. It said room temperature water, but I don't know how well it's going to mix that clay. I'll do my best. Boy, when I was a kid and I had this set, man, I was just blown away. I was like, oh man, just super excited. And I have to admit, even as old as I am now, I'm still excited. Okay. We're going to pour this mixture into the skin making cup. Make sure I got this right. 3 tablespoons of room temperature water into the bowl provided with part 1, which I used. And then pour this mixture into the skin making cup. Okay. I'm going to move this in a second so you can get a better look at it after I get done combining the stuff. Just bear with me here. Okay. Next step, another 3 teaspoons of water and a half teaspoon of the blood red flavoring. Ooh. Yummy. From my memory, this is the best. I like the taste of this one the best. I mean, the Monster Brains, yeah, they were good too, but I prefer the Monster Skin. In my opinion, out of all the stuff you can do with this set, the Monster Skin is the best. 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of water, and a half teaspoon of the blood red flavoring. Okay. Let that stir it up. One thing I will say, at first what I thought about doing to save time before making the video, I thought, well, why don't I just pre-prepare everything so I don't have to stir it all up. But for people who didn't have this set, I was thinking, well, it'd be interesting if they could see the whole process. Okay. So there's our blood red. Get my rag, wipe out the bowl. Okay, on to the final step. Use the skin stick and scoop out 4 handfuls of part 2 Monster Skin powder into the measuring spoon. Okay, Let's see, where is it? Here it is. Well, you get a big pack of this stuff. Looks to be okay. Alright, let me pull this in closer. A little tool here. 4 bone handfuls. Okay. Having a hard time doing this. I need another set of hands. Even though I have this thing, it's not really going to help all that much, is it? I'm sorry, I'll have to do this off camera because I can't hold it up and do that at the same time. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And what you're going to do is put your arm in here and just dump that over it. Let's hope this works. You just pull up. Some of it got left in there. Okay, you see that? Then you take it and just dip it in there. You know what? Even though this set expired in '96, I'm going to try this. It may make me sick, but at least that'll be a warning to other people. Okay. Just let people know, I don't think I would try that if y'all were all. Yeah, it doesn't taste bad, but it does have that kind of bitter aftertaste, so no. Warning, don't do that. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. This powder's kind of clumpy too. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it's got some clumps in it. Yeah, it's just falling apart in there, but there you go. Yummy. Alright, I'm going to get everything cleaned up and we'll move on to the Gummy Creatures. Oh, real quickly, I'll show you the brain back here. Boy, look at that, how much it's foamed up. I'm probably going to go ahead and clean that up because this stuff is real gummy and it just sticks to stuff and it's harder, but I'm going to go ahead and try this as well too. What the heck? Let me change this up so you can see it a little better. See? Alright, here we go. Let's try a small piece of it. You know what? That's good. That tastes really good. Even though part 2 was kind of messed up, this tastes real good. Alright, enough of that. Get everything cleaned up. We'll move on to Gummy Creatures. Alright, we're on to the last experiment. Chewy Gooey Creatures. First off, I'm going to choose my mold. I've decided to go with the spider. And what you want to do is, this is the backing. I'm going to line it up and snap it together just like that. I'm going to go with the black mix here. Calls for 2.5 teaspoons of hot tap water and 2.5 teaspoons of the gummy mix. There's an alteration you can do where you can just put, let's see, to reduce setting time, add only 1.5 teaspoons of hot tap water. I don't recommend that because this mixture is real thick to begin with. It really is. And adding less water is just going to make it that much harder to go up in there. Also, you have to be kind of quick about this because this stuff sets up pretty quick anyway. That's 1, that's 2. 2.5, put a little bit more, I didn't quite get enough. There we go. Okay, that's our 2.5 of hot water. You dry off the spoon. Okay, get our powder. One. Two. And a half. All right. Let's get this mixed up. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on getting it mixed up real good because this stuff sets kind of quick. Okay. Now get our plunger cup here. All right. And just pour it in there. Mixture looks a little bit soupy, but it looks like that, but I guarantee you this stuff will get real thick. It'll thicken up on you. All right. Put this on there. Slide that in. Slide our mold in, and we'll zoom in a little bit on this. Hopefully it works out okay. If it does it, I have 4 more molds to work with. Okay, here we go. All right, it's kind of oozing out all over the place. All right, well, it worked at least. And I'm going to have to let this sit up for 3 minutes, and then I can pull the backing here off. So once I get that done, it sets up. I'll throw it in the fridge and we'll be back to make our next gummy. Alright everyone, moving on to our next mold. I got that other one put in the refrigerator. We're going to use this bug fly thing. Looks like some sort of beetle with a fly connected to it. Alright, get that snapped in place. We're going to go with the green mix this time. Same recipe as before. 2.5 teaspoons of hot water and 2.5 teaspoons of powder. This one actually smells pretty good compared to that black powdery mix we used. All right. Get my spoon. Tell you, this gummy stuff is hard to clean, I'll tell you that much. It really, really is. Once it gets stuck on something. All right. One, two, and a half. 1, 2, and there 2.5. All right. See how thick that stuff is already? Like I said, you have to kind of do this kind of quick. The last mixture was a little on the soupy side, I have to admit, but one thing you have to understand is these powders are like very old. They expired in '96, so you can't expect everything to be perfect. Now, if you do expect something like that, well, you're bound to be let down. All right. Once again, I'm going to put this stuff in our plunger cup. Yeah, this looks soupy as well, but I followed what the directions said, so I'm just worried about getting it too thick, because if you look at the mold very closely, there's just a small bit of room where, I mean, you look at that thing right there, there's not a lot of, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Okay, the diameter is like very small, so therefore, if your mixture is real thick, it's going to be hard to squeeze in. I guess that's the only way. All right, zoom in once again. All right, here we go. Please work. Well, that one worked. Seemed like that one worked very well. There we go. All right, going to let this one sit up for 3 minutes, get everything cleaned up, and we'll move on to the next one. We have 3 molds, and I'm going to try and do all the molds. Okay, I got everything all cleaned up, and we're moving on to our next mold. I'm going to go with the worm and bug thing, and I'm going to do green again. The Dracula and the skeleton, I'm going to do them in red. For some reason, the black powder mix is not working all that well. I don't know why. It's just not holding up all that well. Okay, so green again. One, 2, 2.5. It's kind of a long process. You can skip ahead if you like. One thing that I forgot to mention is I did a short video on the new Dr. Dreadful Lab. I think it was released in 2006 by Funrise. And one thing I liked about it, these backings on the mold, it came with 2 of them. So I have to sit around and wait for 3 minutes so it gets partially set so I can take the backing off. But the other one, you had 2 backings, and you can make one and boom, go right over to the next one real quick. But if I had to pick which lab I liked the best, you know, between the 2 versions, the 94 and the 2006, I'd pick the 94. And I wasn't able to do a lot with the new set. The 2006 one I did because I couldn't find a new one at the time, and I had to get a used one, and I was limited on powders, and so I tried some of the stuff, the things I made in the 2006 one, and in my opinion, I didn't like them. The taste of it. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Alright, here we go. Of course, I'll have to admit, I'm going on memory here. But from what I can remember, the gummies, I never really liked how the gummies tasted in this set. So I'm probably not going to eat any of the gummies. I ate the monster skin, which had that bitter aftertaste, so who knows, it might make me sick or something later. The monster brains tasted just fine. I didn't eat all of them. I ate maybe 1 or 2 scoops with this thing, but it was really good. I liked it. It's kind of gummy-like. Okay. Got our plunger cup. Okay. All right. Real quickly, another thing I wanted to mention, I've noticed that even though I'm following the recipe right, I end up with leftover gummy stuff. It's not using all of it. Now what happens is that the mold doesn't hold together real tight and it just kind of goes all over the place. It creates what you would call flash, like in a casting process. But, you know, you can clean that off if you want. Okay. Zoom in again. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. That one worked pretty well. All right. Got to set this one up and clean everything yet again, and we'll keep going. Okay, we're on to the next gummy. I'm going to try the skeleton. Been waiting to do this one. All right. Now, one thing I noticed, I haven't opened the powder yet, but just feeling it, it doesn't feel quite as good as the other ones do, but I'll know here in just a second. Let's see. Not too sure about the red, but I'm going to try it anyway. All right, add our water. 1, 2. 2.5. Let's put, kind of spilled a tiny bit of it, so it's going to make up for it. All right. So what do y'all think so far? I'm enjoying this, I really am. I hope somebody out there sees this and you know, that maybe they didn't have this set as a kid, so now they can at least see what it was about, you know. 1, 2, and a half. I don't know how well this is going to work out. There's some pieces in there. Oh, well, we'll see. I might end up having to go back to the black. The black mix just didn't seem to work all that well last time. I don't know. Speaking of which, I'm trying my best to you know, make the quality as good as I can with what limited equipment that I have. You know, I'm trying. But there are people who have other videos of Dr. Dreffel's stuff out there that are better. And right now, Lucky Penny Shop, he's got a Dr. Dreffel Food Lab one. His video is done a heck of a lot better than mine, because I'm sure he's got, you know, a lot of good equipment, unlike me, and he's been doing it longer. So go check out his video. In my opinion, he does a stellar job and all this stuff. And I'm going to be truthful. Lucky Penny Shop, one inspired me to start doing this, reviewing toys and things like that. And I'm mainly doing stuff that I have experience with, stuff that I played around with as a kid. So for one, it's enjoyable to me because I'm reliving my childhood. And also, you know, people, like I said earlier, didn't have this set. Well, you know, they can see, oh, so that's what it was like. Maybe somebody will get something out of it. I don't know. All right. We'll be done here. We just got this mold and one more to do. All right. Zoom in yet again. All right, here we go. All right, that worked pretty good. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay, got to get stuff cleaned up again and move on to the last mold. All right, finally, we're on the last mold. This is Dracula. All right, and we're going to go with the red mix again. It worked out better than I thought it was. From the looks of it at first, I was like, man, this is going to bomb. It's not going to be good, but worked fairly well. All right. Take our water. 1, 2, 2.5. Tell you, this gummy stuff is hard to clean up. I've probably mentioned that, no telling how many times before, but it really is. Once it sets up, it is hard to clean up. All right, here we go. One. Uh-oh, I heard the solid piece enter that. 2. And a half. Let's see how well it mixes. Also, some people might be wondering where I got this set at. I've seen people ask questions like that on other videos. Well, where did you get that? Where did you get that? I got this set off of eBay. Let's see if I remember. It cost me about $30, which was a real good deal. Currently, I think there's like 2 other food labs up, but they're missing parts. They're used. To get a set like this new, even though the box was kind of messed up, you know, it's not, it doesn't concern me too much, but to get one new and complete, that really is nothing short of astonishing. Most of the sets I've come across have all been used, but I have found some new. All right. really all you can hope for is that there's somebody out there who is cleaning out their closet or something like that, and they happen to find one in complete condition. They put it up on eBay. That's really all you can hope for. I mean, I'm sure you could find them at yard sales and things like that, but where I live, I don't live in the city, so I'd have to drive around aimlessly hoping there's a yard sale or something somewhere. So, all right. Sorry that I just keep blabbing on, but oh, finally here. Here we go. All right. Worked pretty good. Okay. Got to throw this in the fridge and everything. And once I get, you got to let them sit in the fridge for 8 to 10 minutes. So once that happens, I'll get them out of the molds and we'll see how they all turned out. I got my gummies in the fridge right now, and while I'm waiting for them to fully set up, I wanted to show everyone this repulsive recipe guide. It's a little bent, but still I'll be able to read it. Let's see what's in here. Hand sandwich. Jack-o'-lantern fruit cup. Cookie eyeballs. Looks pretty simple and easy to do. Ghostly grub. Ants on a log. Eyes on sticks. Eat your guts out. Let's see what else we have here. Eyeballs. It's just yellow gelatin and blueberries. Sewer surprise. I don't know about that. Definitely would be a surprise. Worms and dirt. Cheesy ghost on toast. And scary faced pizzas. That'd be pretty fun to try out some of these, you know, the kids. If anybody does try any of these recipes out, let me know. I might, at a later date, try out some of these recipes. The drink lab that I had also came with a repulsive recipe guide, so maybe I'll make a video in the future and try out some of this stuff. Okay, that's it for the recipe guide. Alright everyone, got my molds out of the refrigerator. We're going to see how they came out. First, I'm going to start with the spider. Okay, it's got a bit of flash around it, but other than that, turned out okay. Next, we're going to go with this beetle fly one. It's coming out real nicely. Once again, a lot of these are going to have all that flash, you know, and excess stuff, but you can trim that off. Next is the worm and beetle or whatever it is. Nice. And we have the skeleton. This one, a lot of excess gummy. So, but still, it worked. And then last, Dracula. Well, I'd have to say, overall, I'm very pleased how these came out, especially taking into consideration how old this set is in the powders. So there you have them. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here and see if I can get it just a little better. You see the red one's little bits of stuff in it? Okay. What can we take away from this? Well, one, I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. Despite everything being old as it was, everything worked out pretty well. I would have to say, once again, if I had to pick between the old Food Lab and the new one, I'd go with the old one. I was kind of disappointed with the monster skin, but it's old, you know. Now, I don't think I'm going to try any of these gummies. Yes, I know I tried the monster brains and the monster skin, but I don't know, something's just... Well, you know what? Just for the heck of it, I'll try a small piece. The green mix smelled the best out of all these, so I'm just going to take a tiny bite and hope I don't choke or anything. It's not too bad, but it's kind of sour. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm going to keep trying to procure some other Dr. Dreadful sets, and hopefully I can bring you more of these. If you have any tips or suggestions, you know, or anything you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. But this is it. I'll catch you next time. Later.